so ediba a POG Media. So you sure say afi eno abadwumadi we so a obe like obe share no subscribe to the channel no say na be ya new political trending news bia no sounds bitimi akabi e POG Media trending story so busanfo ene ko political highway no so na ensem bebre ni aso akoti ensem de benisan e bi ene se e Ofori Atta the corrupt man Ofori Atta na no o si o nkofo e wo court se the same wo na eni so you corrupt na ye de wo court na fe wo na wo de nkofo court ade nti a o se nkofo abore na fie without his notice, without his permission. Ah, my people no pa from my people no pa enya some kitu akra. Ah, mo wie yin so a ma sa atoto ne nneoma mu akone wardrobe mu akone drawer mu akotwetwehwe. Nneoma ama ne sika ne nneoma bebre. Ayra as ama ne nneoma bebre so bia say ah ayra ho se me pa wasi omo ama Supreme Court ah so ono de omo on pehwe for confrontation omo confronting na necessary omo Anthony no omo compensating na necessary na kuma mbra from on pe asem bia on pe ne toto en pe no nneoma na say no nka so oji bia so busia for me so me mestram so me akone akuti de okan da mas
ya emra mo mo kwa ba be wura honom na ose omo ba ho de omo sign no ene ayamhihye omo de ma ne nyina obu ho ka mo omo atua asami si February da toso du ba ko ye nyina anim semenje ye yi na no pa wie ne anwumira na dweda so mu nyina mo obi ahwe bi ese emema bia na omo dodo ye be se dumienu ekowura papa ifie na emunum ehye asrafo atade ena ebi nso so hye posi atade ba ko no hye posi atade ena ebi nso so hye mufti de ye hye ya bi ena omo di kofi o cantonment eno na papa ya kwa saman no na ama bra kwampofo ena asemi otie mu ye na obetimi akyerem ama ene na somu ye rake no Ofori Atta nsama no na osesen
Sechiwa ni edikan enipa mienu na omudin ewon krata so as defendant. Ni edikan eye DSP Bismarck Boachi Ansa. Ni otoso mienu ye Chief Inspector Mensa aka se Mensa. Yeso omu nyina won kran ha. Nti nipa mienu wei ena nsamankrata ekode ama. Nti record nkrata na okọ file ye na Kenneth Nana ya Ofori Atta plaintiff versus DSP Bismarck Boachi Ansa. Chief Inspector Mensa aka se Mensa defendant. Ni statement of claim anase ensema odi akoto court nanim esre court ne se court ne nka ho asem. Ni edi kan ose wono enkane no na ono eneye finance minister ema oman kronkron Ghana na osomo Ghana sumye pa na se de wudi kan na wo kan se otu kwan kakra otia ne nanti kakra no wo ho no te se enipa bia ko ready ne fie brofo kaso yisu o se reading team na reading team no enipa mako enkron o se 9 military personnel na omukura etuo enye tuketwa na ombo era ne fie ena bi nso enipa ne bi nso hye atade a enya postifo atade enya so asojafo nso atade ena ka ho ekoya wo mu nyina nso na ebi osi etuo etaretara omwata so ebeka se side arm no osi obi eniwa ode tumi bi ekrata akire ese o mi fi court we ana se mi fi institution we ene yasoma me se me mebo search e wo fie a emra ne kire se o ko bi fie akoye nhwehwemu bi wo ho a udu gate ano e se obokokoko na ye bisa o amane a odi amane bebo se mikra sakrata we ene na o kire se bibiasa ankoso ose enu achi ono ane staff a eye adwuma wo ho se security for se gardeners wo me prepare ho ne ade ni nyina no o se ehumua ebowom enu achi wasan a kire se enipa ekọ ni fie wa enkura to mikrata bia no ebi borra ni compound ho baako de otoso mienu ni bedroom ba bia ono ankasa Ken Ofori Atta dan ye borra ho o se ni mukas kitchen ye borra ho ba bia wono ankasa wodidi ye rera ho kwohwehwe ne eniema mu wo ho wo se ne drawer ye twetwe ne drawer ebiebie ni fridge ne cupboard e wo nyina ye biebie ni closet ne ade ye sese eniema ni bi e wo ho a ni nyina no o se ni pe ko we obi eniwa no okura to mikrata o se enu achi ehumua ene boss a na dwuma ye fo na ense na emfata enti pictures ni bi ena uhu e wo Angel TV so oma yesu se omuko efie ho no ɔse ɛno akyi kura no ɔbɔ akyire ma na lawyer ebisa ɛyɛ National Intelligence Bureau ɛsɛ mo na mo soma ayɛ ana ɛno akyi ɔsan bɔ akyire kɔ Chief of Defence Staff nkyɛn Inspector General of Police sɛ raiding team no mo na mo soma ayɛ ana na munya akrataa bi efiri wɔn nkyɛn ɛsɛ wɔn mo soma wɔn no de anu yie bi bai ɔse sansɛm wɔ nyinaa ankwankosi aga obi ahyɛ sɛ me de me nsoma obi a o ɔse ɛno akyi kura no ɔbɔ akyire sɛ ɔbɛkɔ court akɔbisa court sɛ bia court bi na ma order ana court bi na ma warrant ana restraining order bi bai a ɔse bibi asa eni hɔ ɛno na nam so a enipa mienu ɛyɛ DSP Bismarck Boakye Ansa ɛna Chief Inspector Ansa aka sɛ Mensa no ɛnɛ ɔde wɔn akɔkɔgyina court sɛ court nhwehwɛ ne nsɛm na sɛ court hwehwɛ nsɛm nim na ɛbɔ saa enipa mienu wei di a wɔntwa sika bi anto wɔ sɛ wɔgye mpata sika ebi a 1 Ghana cedi anaa 2 Ghana cedi na mmom ɔse mpata sika a ɛsɛ ne fata no yɛn compensate no sanse ne ɔma yɛ no ɛyɛ nimtiabuo ɛyɛ nimguaseɛ a yɛgu n'anim ase wei deɛ obɛka sɛ ne damages no sika bi aniwa a wotwae sɛ wɔgye ɛde afi nipa mienu no ɛnsɛm na mmom ɔse deɛ sɛ ne fata ɛsɛ yɛbɛka sɛ yɛde ma wɔ no Ken Ofori Atta no yɛmfa ɛma no a ɛyɛ compensation a ɔbɛgye afiri nipa mienu no ne court na enyansɛm court na anim die mu no yɛde ma na obesom
mo ene nkyeremu a wode ama brako ampɔfoɔ hɔ de bɛpie free mu biara yɛde bɛsom
document, you may have to proffer it, and that will let the good people of Ghana appreciate why you have been standing as such.
The finance minister did well. He did well by capturing some of their benefits to promise and letting them fund expression. And to that extent, when the government present the budget and make provision for some of the things they threshold. You are talking about something 60%, but the IMF program even puts it at 55% by 2028. By 2028. And then we are already at 61.8%. From the depth of, we're talking about 105% to GDP, at a point 80%, at a point 60%. So if you are talking about the debt situation, then you need to appreciate the fact that, look, you cannot make this argument on the debt because the debt situation is sustainable, or it's not yet sustainable 155, but it is on the verge of sustainability. Because you only have about 8 percentage points to bring it back to the IMF target by 2028. And effectively, you are given 4 years to manage our debt. That is one. Two, the finance minister created the sense that we want to contain expenditure. But you bring us a budget that your expenditure is far in excess of expenditure by the Akuffo, even at the election year. Not even election year. This is your first year. And your budget estimate far outweighs the expenditure that Akuffo had when he was even conducting elections. We all know elections, government will want to do more projects in order to gain the currency for it. That is another. The finance minister, in his speech, tried to create the sense that, government would default. I mean, I find it interesting that the finance minister is already telling IMF mission, which is going to come and assess the default. The finance minister mentioned it to the look. Why would you want investors to come and invest in your economy? And the IMF program is to give you policy credibility. You are calling people to come and invest in your economy. At the same time, you are telling them that the credibility the IMF is going to give us will not get it because we are going to.
If we draw a fan to me and now go so I would see or DB, I friend is a DSP, a watcher, Nansa, or also a penny power police and send or funk of 4 fronts within the chin for 2022 and DHA a call a Ofori. Atta a few or nine ask him to Akroma, Marco says, and your pa or her and the Akroma. It was for me, so be me. Let's have some of me. I could tell him to us, Macra.
Why would he say that? Because he wants an opportunity to spend his way out of the conditionalities of the IMF. The speaker, the finance minister talk about taxes. Look, he really was going to go. We are all happy. We have to commend the government for letting it go. Because we also promised there's no big deal about it. It is going, it has gone. We say the government thank you and the government has done well. shortfalls from the abolition of those particular taxes would be catered for from the what we call our tax refund account. What is a tax refund account? It is revenue, 6% of revenues from non-oil taxes will be set aside in a single account, in a buffer, so that if an individual has a tax refund, he will pay through that particular person, through that particular account. He says that it has not been used over the years. What basically he's decided to do is that I will reduce the rate. It's not being used properly. What I'll do is that I'll reduce the rate from 6 to what? 4%, which is very means that you are uncapping that particular fund. In fact, from 6, it goes to 4. It means that there's going to be freeze of revenue for you to use for other purposes. That's what it means. But in the first, even the 6%, whenever they don't pay and the money is there, it goes back to the consolidated account. It supports government expenditure. Okay. So that is also a point down as well. And aside that, this government has given it a sense that they are going to reduce government expenditure. If you go to the Office of Government Machinery, they have increased, even they are claiming that Akuffo has 300 appointees and they are reducing their budget this year. For Akuffo, compensation alone is around 2.7 billion for this year. Okay. But the Akuffo, even with the bloated government, did a compensation of around 300 million. Okay. So this is what we are talking about. Revenue.
I'm referring to chairpersons of the regions who are present with us. We have the chairperson, the Tema branch of the GG, Chifa here. You're welcome. We have the chairperson from the Upper East region of the GG. My brother Willie. You're welcome. You have the chairperson of the Eastern region, very close to the capital, also here. The Eastern Corridor, part of the Eastern Corridor. Chairman Mas, welcome. Members of the National Media Commission representing the GG, senior colleagues, gallant men and women from the media, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. On behalf of the National Executive of the Ghana Journalists Association, I wish to welcome you all to the Gift Afenidazi Conference Hall of the Ghana International Press Center, and to thank you for honoring our invitation. Colleagues, on 17th February 2025, we updated you and the entire nation on happenings on the media front and how the GG sought to address them. Today, we are here to update you on some recent development in the media and the response of the GG to those matters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are
ensure obibia waje brɛ say and bread ya hwedwumadi we abedwum pemprɛ so we nyakopon ensure obibia watimi ni ahwa abedwum pemprɛ so we ma wore mfi ade ba ko say obe like am subscribe to the channel na say ne be ya new political trending news be a ko twi ko brɛ ma be a happy POG Media and am sanso ebetimi aka no